Officially, for this final day of the G20, the agenda was the climate crisis.
Neutralidade climática.
But again, overshadowing events, the war in Ukraine, the firing of 6 US-made long-range ATACMS missiles at targets inside Russia after President Biden eased his conditions on their use, was swiftly condemned by the Russian foreign minister.
The fact that ATACMS were used repeatedly in the Bryansk region, of course, it's a signal they want to escalate, and it is impossible to use these high-tech missiles without the Americans. Putin has said this many times.
A White House official told Al Jazeera that the comments from the Russian side were more irresponsible rhetoric, and added on the new Russian nuclear doctrine that they didn't actually see a change in Russia's nuclear posture. That's its strategy on how and when it might use its weapons. And for that reason, they said the US nuclear policy would not currently change. President Biden himself didn't answer questions from reporters on the latest developments. Of course, he only has 2 more months in office, and after that, many predict there'll be a major change in policy when President Trump returns to power. For the second day running, one of the US's closest NATO allies, the UK, was the one publicly advocating for Ukraine.
I've been doubling down in my clear message that we need to ensure that Ukraine has what is needed for as long as is needed to win this war against Putin.
The section of the G20's final communiqué on Ukraine was so bland it was meaningless. But that tells you something in itself. These declarations are decided by consensus, and on this issue there is no agreement. James Bays, Al Jazeera, at the G20 in Rio de Janeiro.
Make sure to subscribe to our channel to get the latest news from Al Jazeera.